Hi, I'm Mary Shenouda, private performance chef and founder of Fat Fudge, and you're watching Behind the Brand with Brian Elliott.
Hey, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today I'm here with the incomparable, the unicorn, the amazing Mary Shenouda. Mary, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, that was so big. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, as someone who knows very little about Egyptian culture, what is different between Egyptian culture and what you might know in the United States?
It's just more of a feeling, just a different feeling. One, people look like you. So there's a lot more people that look like me in Egypt. But I think this is more indicative of a lot of other cultures that I identify with. Like I really appreciate Filipino culture, Italian culture, different African cultures. There's emphasis on being happy, being connected to your family, being connected to people around you, and less of an emphasis on the hustle and the grind. They really feel like if that is taken care of, that is the priority, the other stuff does end up becoming part of that naturally. Gotcha. Like family always comes first. And there's no glorifying the struggle in the culture. We're here, it's limited time, this is the priority.
And so what did they say when you didn't go down that path? Did you get flack or did you get pressure or?
I dropped out initially without my mom's knowledge. I forged some signatures. Again, my parents are very cultural, but I am so lucky that even when they don't like what I'm doing, they've never asked me to be anything other than who I am. Mm-hmm. So,
how about other people? Did your friends or your peer group, did they pressure you in one path or the other? I'm curious about this because I know a lot of people who watch this show. Well, just from the feedback, I know that there's basically two camps.
Sure.
There's a camp that is making a ton of money and not happy. Mm-hmm. And then there's a whole camp that is still trying to find what they love to do, mm-hmm. and that lights them up. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always curious what the path is to find that sort of magical intersection between what you're great at and then that rewards you with, financial stability.
How do you feel about the whole chase your passion?
I think it has a big asterisk behind it because if, I may love to paint, but if I'm a lousy painter, I'm going to be a starving artist, mm-hmm. right? So it's a combination of finding what I love to do and what I'm great at.
Yeah, I feel like it's really misguided advice. Yeah. For me, I'm not trying to find my passion and follow my passion. I'm bringing passion to everything that I do, whether it's just picking up the mail. And I think by virtue of being excited and being all in, you're more aware of the thing that will light you up when it comes across your way. And I don't necessarily think that I'm doing my purpose yet, but I'm well on my way of my purpose. And as long as I keep showing up with that enthusiasm as a person, then that will come to be.
So let me ask it a different way. How did you find what you were good at? And how did that evolve?
So when I was hired in tech, I thought I was in a customer service role. So we'll back up. So I didn't really have much of a peer group in high school. Honors courses, varsity tennis, but kind of a loner. I just had one friend at the time that I would spend most of my time with. I made varsity freshman year and bumped off 2 seniors, so I alienated myself pretty quickly. Not that our team had this extraordinary tennis team, but it's good enough to make the team. And I feel a lot better being in my head and writing. So nobody was pressuring me one way or another. I just knew that I wasn't ecstatic being there. And when I had gone to my counselor to find out what credits I needed for the next year, because I dropped out March of my junior year, she's like, oh, you need 4 credits. And I'm like, okay, for this year, but what credits do I need for next year? And she's like, no, that's all you need. I'm like, you want me to be here for a year and a half? No, how do I get out of this situation? Because I'm someone that if I'm 1% unhappy, then I'm actually 99% unhappy. So I just wanted to be in a different environment. And so when I got a tech job, I had admin jobs for a little while. And then when I got my tech job, I thought I was in customer service. I didn't know I was in sales until 2 things happened. One, a report went out to the team and it had all of the direct hires because they've been there long enough to make the board. And then it had a line that said contractor / Mary Shenouda. And I got a bunch of pings saying congratulations. And because I was still a contractor, I didn't know what they were referring to. I didn't get the email. And it had 56% of quota, 80% of quota, Mary Shenouda / contractor, 156% of quota. I'm like, what is quota?
Right.
What does this mean?
How did I do this?
And the gentleman that was talking to me about it, he's like, you're going to get a great commission check. What's commission? He was like, well, this is your base, and then this is what you get as a bonus based on your performance. And I'm a kid. I'm like, I'm rich. This is amazing. And so I quickly identified how much I love this idea of sales, because you get what you put into it.
Yeah.
So that was something I was good at, working hard, making my manager proud, making him money. But every time I was known as a little bit of a flight hazard, because I would sit at a company for a couple years, get bored, even though I was performing well, and then find a new job, go do that, get excited again. But everyone knew that if Mary was on the team, she's giving you 100% when she's there.
Right.
And then when she's giving you 99, she's going to move on. And I didn't understand why I wasn't pumped. I get 500% of quota, and I'm like, cool. And I kept thinking the new job would excite me, but I think it was the idea of the learning something new and novelty. And when the time came to pursue my own thing, and I told my boss, hey, I'm going to pursue this private chef thing, he first asked me to go back to my desk. And then he followed up and said, you've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've been waiting for this day to come. And so I was able to be in an environment now with my own businesses where every day is something new and something different, and it's problem solving. And becoming private chef, I didn't necessarily choose it. It came to me as an opportunity. So when I got my diagnosis as a celiac and changed my diet in a couple of months, every pain I'd ever had my entire life, because I was in the ER multiple times a month, but that was normal for me. I just expected it. I was at my desk with sunglasses all the time. I would take naps under my desk because I was in an environment where everyone was 10, 15 years my senior, and I had to perform not just as good as them, but better than them to maintain my role. And so when I got that diagnosis and all those symptoms went away, people noticed you don't look like you're in pain anymore. What is different? And I talked about what I wasn't eating. At the time, paleo was becoming popular. It was easier to say paleo than go down the list of things.
About what year was this, just for context? Ish.
I always go to when did the Giants win the World Series the first time? So it was 2010. So about 2012, 2011, 2012.
Okay.
2012, the second time the Giants won the World Series. In my lifetime, rather. And having a conversation with someone, they're like, what are you doing differently? I talked about my diet. Like, I don't have time to cook. Why don't you just cook for me? And my response was like, I don't cook for people. I manage multi-million-dollar contracts.
Right.
And he's like, well, I'm willing to pay a private chef X amount of dollars to make me food. And in San Francisco, I joke, you can make a lot of money and still be poor, because it's all going towards your cost of living. So I saw it as a side hustle. So I took on that person as a client. Within those 2 weeks, I was getting my wisdom teeth removed, and I was put under for that. And when I came to, the oral surgeon said, I'm so excited you're going to be my private chef. So my unconscious mind had convinced herself she's a private chef. So those are my first two side hustle clients that were accidentally acquired. And I was trying to do both for a few months. Super tired, body shut down on 101, broke out into full sweat, and I had to choose one or the other. Took a day off from work, went to the Ferry Building with a friend of mine, colleague of mine, in my head, not sure what the right move is here. I see a man walking towards me. I open the door for him because I'm a gentleman. And he goes, thank you. And I was surprised he noticed that gesture. And I was like, you're welcome. And he's like, chivalry's not dead. And he walks away. And my friend goes, you are the most obtuse person I've ever met in my life. Because you took the day off from work to find out if you wanted to be a chef full time. And you opened a door of opportunity for Tyler Florence, who is a famous chef in Northern California. He has the great food truck race. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the sign, I'm done, I'm gonna quit. And so the next day I resigned and went all in on being a private chef. And I'm good at private chefing. At the time, I don't love every gig I took, but I'm really good at it. I'm passionate about the thing I'm talking about. And now I'm doing something that's new, exciting, and novel, and I get to build it however which way I want. And that's sort of how it found me.